Good morning. Good morning. We're here live. Yes, we're here live trying to catch up with the latest immigration news. If you're here, say hi in the comment. We're going to catch up on the latest immigration news and we're going to take some questions and hopefully you can schedule your consultation. Hi, Mido. How are you? Hi. Hi, Buddy Bonte. Hi, Kamara. Yes, good morning. This is today is Friday, October 21st, 2022. To tell you something happy. Oh my gosh, we're just gonna talk about the latest immigration news, okay? And hopefully something good will come out of it. So I'm gonna share my screen. Just gonna start with the latest immigration news. What's going on from Alabama? Hey Sam! Wow, Alabama. Hey Sam, how are you? Are you doing okay this lovely Friday? We're talking about the latest immigration news, and then I'm gonna take some questions, and hopefully we're gonna schedule a couple consultation. Um, let's just get right into it. I'm sharing my screen. Um, Let me just start by sharing my screen first of all. Share the screen. What's the screen in question? Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm trying to share my screen. Hold on just a second. What? What's the share screen? Event. I'm trying to find the sharing screen. Okay, I find it. Oh, you heard something is happening this year in Lambda. Well, if you look at my middle, Dido, if you watched my last immigration news video, I talked about they're trying to do something with spending and defense bill, but we have to wait until this November 8th after the elections. Then we should know for sure if something is going to happen before the end of the year. Really, what they're talking about they want to do something for DACA recipients, dreamers, farm workers, STEAM students, and recapturing some visas, unused visas. But as far as undocumented people in general, to be honest, really nothing I have heard. Those four category I talked about it in my last video. So let's just get with this news this morning. Then we're gonna go back to questions. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm starting with. I'm starting with asylum and credible fear interim final rule. The final rule is finally there. This is really for people who actually are in expedited removal, which means that the CBP, Custom Border Patrol or Enforcement, are trying to remove you as soon as possible, and then you have to go through an expedited removal case. And it happened a lot with people at the border, right? So what they're saying, the rule is saying that if the people at the border, okay, um, seeker who pass a credible fear interview will have their interview count as an asylum application before USCIS and have an asylum merits interview scheduled within 21 to 45 days. Okay, so if you pass that test of credible fear, then you have the interview schedule, merit interview by the USCIS officer scheduled within 21 days to 45 days. So then the asylum officer will be based out of one of the city. It's going to be Boston, Miami, New York, Newark, San Francisco, Los Angeles, or Chicago, not at the border. If asylum is denied, then the person will be referred to the immigration court in the same city where they took the merit interview. And then the immigration court is expected to resolve the case within 2 to 4 months. So this is new for people. Remember, people sometimes they get at the border and they are put into expedited removal proceedings in terms of because they are coming from the border, and then they have to resolve the cases of asylum as quick as possible. And this new rule of credible fear is finally in place, right? Simply means, again, that people at the border seeking asylum, the officer is going to take, based on the test of credible fear interview, the officer is going to give you a merit interview. And it has to be, once you pass the test, right, then the merit interview has to be scheduled within 21 to 45 days. And if during that interview your asylum case is denied, then it gets referred to court, and the court has to settle it within 2 to 4 months. And they only have those cities handling those type of cases. It's not for everybody, really. It's just for people in expedited removal, pretty much at the borders. Okay, so that's news number one. Then we go back to USCIS. Okay, USCIS, what's going on with USCIS? We know that there is a process for Venezuelan. Okay, the same process they put in place for uniting for Ukraine is the same process for Venezuelan. On October 18, USCIS began implementing a new process that provides safe and orderly means for nationals of Venezuela and their qualifying immediate family member who are outside the United States and lack U.S. entry document to come to the United States. Basically, parole. Somebody here is gonna pretty much apply for humanitarian parole for them, and they're gonna come to the U.S. if they qualify for parole. That humanitarian parole. The same process they use with uniting for Ukraine is the same process they're using now. Okay, so then what are the conditions? Is like you have a supporter in the United States, so somebody sponsoring you. You undergo a clear, robust security vetting. They have to check the background check, meet other eligibility criteria, and warrant a favorable exercise of discretion. Okay, and remember, with humanitarian parole, the person has to file, the sponsor has to file the form I-131 and I-134 combined for financial support. It's pretty much just humanitarian parole, but at least it's so open, the same way they open it for people from Ukraine, you know. So now they're doing the same process for Venezuelan. So if you feel like you qualify, you have a supporter, really just try to reach out so that we can help you. Or if somebody here trying to support somebody in Venezuela, so that's the process. It's humanitarian parole. You have to be able to have a form I-134 declaration of financial support filled out. Okay, so we're gonna pass to another news. Let me see the other news. Yeah, so that's the biggest news, to be honest, for Venezuelan. And then DHS to supplement H-2B cap with nearly 65,000 additional visas for fiscal year 2023. That's for, again, H-2B. It's pretty much temporary worker in agriculture sector. So they're just telling us that they have more visa available in that category. Okay, so those are the two new major news that I had. Let's see if we can find some other news here, because I usually go here for news. Immigration news. Let's see. Yeah, that's the major news. And we already know, let me stop sharing, the crisis at the border, that's common. We already know that. So I'm gonna take a couple questions now. If you have questions, let me know. I see Dido talking about 7 year hold. What do you mean by that, Dido? What do you mean by 7 year hold? I'm taking questions. If somebody has a question, just put it in the comment. We just wanted to talk about this latest immigration news. We wanted to talk about what's really happening with the credible fear at the border when it comes to asylum. Um, what else we have? Yeah, by mistake, a lot of cases got dismissed in immigration court lately by mistake. But it's good news for some people if you really your case gets dismissed because you didn't really have anything else. Then it's good. You don't have any order of deportation under your belt. But it's bad for people who actually have something solid to um, defend in immigration court. So then they have to figure out a way to put themselves back again there. So that's what's going on. That's a major thing going on right now. So I don't see questions. If there's no question, well, we can end this live session. Yeah, Mido Dido, that's what it's a proposal, right? Um, Registry or to update the registry. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that one is still like there, nothing really concrete. That's what I'm telling you, that really what we can do for now is just wait for the elections on November 8th. After November 8th, right, we will know for sure who's controlling the Senate and who's controlling the House. At that point, if let's say the Democrats get control of everything, the Senate and the House, which I doubt it, then we can hope for something to happen, right? If the Republican get control of the House too and the Senate, we can hope for something to happen as well in their way. Whatever anybody's proposing, then we just have to wait and see who's going to control the Senate and who's going to control the House. Based on that, the people who have the majority in the Senate and the House will go with their agenda. We know the agenda for the Republican is mostly about controlling the border first, border security. That's the main thing. And then after that, then they can look at those cases, laws when it comes to undocumented, and perhaps they will look at that 7 years. Oh, Republican will take the House, and who's middle, but who's taking the Senate? I mean, if they take the House and the Senate, it looks like they might do something, right? Based on their agenda, whatever they have in mind, then they can get that accomplished. But who's going to take control of the House? Anything news, Bobby Bounty? Anything news about asylum-based green card? Like, what do you mean? Did you apply for the green card after your asylum got? Oh, Democrat? But then again, what if the Republican takes if the Democrat? So if the Democrat take control of the House, the Senate, it's it's good in case something passes in the House, right? If something passes in the House, then the Democrats will make sure that it passes the Senate, and that's game over, right? But if nothing passes in the House, then even if the Democrats control the Senate, how is it going to get to the Senate, you know? Yeah, Bobby Bante, what do you mean by anything news about asylum-based green card? Did you apply for asylum-based green card? Is it taking longer? Yeah, it does take longer. So did you apply? Did you get your asylum granted? And now you're applying for that green card? Yeah, I'm not sure what the question is about. Baby, Bobby Bounty. Anything else? Guys, if there's no questions, I think I'm just gonna end for today, right? If you have more questions, just leave it in the comment. If there's no more questions, I'm just gonna end for the day. I did not apply yet. I got my approved asylum last year on October. Yeah, after you got your asylum on October, what date? Because after a year, this is October, right? October 22. If you got it last year, that was October 2021. This is October 2022. So after 1 year, that's when you apply. For us, it depends on what center it goes. If you apply for depending where it goes, right? Let's just give you an example. First of all, you have to wait October 15. Yes, you should apply for the green card now because it's a full year. If you apply for the green card today, for example, so let's see, let's share the screen, right? Let's share the screen and double check again. Share the screen. So let's go to processing time. USCIS processing time. Processing time. That's how you check. You go to green card based on what? Based on asylum, grant of asylum. Okay, that's where you go. And then you look, there's only two centers anyway. It's either going to go to Nebraska or Texas. Let's say it goes to Nebraska. This is the processing time, 38 months, okay? 3 years. 38 divided by 12. Yeah, 3 years, okay? Let's say it goes to Texas, 38 months and a half, 3 years and some months, okay? 3 years and a month. Yep. So that's how long it's going to take you. Stop sharing. Yeah, Bobby Bante, it's going to take you 3 years to get the green card if you apply today. It takes 3 years. But if you want to travel, you can apply for travel document. Travel document is, you can apply for the green card and the travel document at the same time because travel document will take you at least a year. But that green card will take you at least 3 years. So you can get your travel document and travel and come back and then wait for the green card because it's going to take you at least 3 years, okay? So any more questions? You're welcome. You're welcome. So any more questions? If there's no more questions, we're just going to end here. we're going to end here and come back next time. Mido Dido, I think we're gonna talk about this thing after the election, November 8th. That's when we'll have a clear idea on how things will go. Okay, we'll talk about those reform. We'll talk about it after November 8th, after the election. We will know who's controlling what. Then we'll have a clear idea. Parhesh Pandey, 7 years. What do you mean by 7 years? I don't know your question. What do you mean by 7 years? What do you mean by 7 years? I'm still waiting. Taking one more question and then we can let you go. Oh, that Rachel's tweeting? Yeah, let's just wait. Because really, to be honest with you, I don't know where this, it's just there, right? It's just, at this point, I call it a proposal because as long as anything hasn't passed to the Senate, to be honest, it's just a proposal because it has to pass to Senate, then signed by the president, then become law. Otherwise, even if it passes in the House, as long as it hasn't passed to the Senate, forget that. So that's why I was telling me, though, we just have to wait after November 8th, then we'll know who's controlling the Senate and who's controlling the House. At that point, we will know in what direction we are going. Okay? So other than that, really, there's no more to talk about. I think I'm gonna end this live session for now. 22 minutes. Yeah, if you have more questions, just drop it in the comment. Until next time, bye bye. Thank you for coming.